We are talking with a remarkable entrepreneur who has taken intelligent risk-taking to new heights. Danny Meyer first struck out on his own 25 years ago when he opened the critically acclaimed Union Square Cafe. He is the quintessential New York restaurateur and considered by many to be the dean of American hospitality. As CEO of Union Square Hospitality Group, Danny has created a celebrated dining dynasty that includes some of New York's most acclaimed high-end establishments. We're with him today in his latest creation in New York City. Meyer is packing them in day and night. I'm Ellen Kodeth with Food Channel Pro. Let's find out why Danny Meyer's unparalleled success led us to choose him as a leader with guts. Danny, what was your aha moment when you realized you were going to be successful as a restaurateur?
I've never had that aha moment. As a matter of fact, to the degree that we've had any success, I think a lot of it has to do with not believing in our own success. And I really believe that to this day, 25 years after Union Square Cafe is open, I think we are trying to run for office every single day and feel like we're running behind. And it's fun. I love the journey, and I've got lots and lots of energy as long as I can surround myself with people who want to come along for the ride. But I think the minute you sit back and say, quote unquote, I am successful, who needs you at that point?
Originally, you were only wanted to have restaurants that were in walking distance of each other. And then you opened the Modern and then Shake Shack, so that's no longer the case. How big geographically do you think your company can get?
Well, we still, with the exception of the Modern, and by the way, I can and have walked to the Modern. It's
right.
A 2-mile walk from here, which is not a very big deal. Actually, it's not even 2 miles from here. But you're right, there are only 8 businesses right now that I can walk to from my office within 6 minutes. But that's most of our fine dining restaurants. And I think that remains very, very important, because you cannot phone in hospitality. It remains very important for people when they come to our fine dining restaurants to feel seen, and occasionally seen by me. It also remains very important for me to see and gather what's going on. But I think that there are restaurants we have that don't demand that. I think Shake Shack is one. We think that Blue Smoke might be another one, where Blue Smoke is much more of a focused concept, let's say, than something like Union Square Cafe, which is really about where it is rather than what it does. And we're learning, and I think that the next exciting step in my business career is to find out if my organization can be as effective at replicating one thing really, really well as it has been at doing one-of-a-kind things differently every single time.
What was the toughest decision you ever made on behalf of Union Square Hospitality Group?
I'd say the toughest decision I ever had to make with Union Square Hospitality Group was to get over my own preordained belief that having a home office and having a corporate structure would in some way dumb down our restaurants. And I had a preconceived notion that in order to have really, really smart restaurants, we had to have a really dumb corporate structure. Because every time I saw a really smart corporate structure, it seemed to just kind of make everything the same in all the restaurants. And that was completely naive of me. And I really had to learn the hard way that having really, really good financial people on the team doesn't dumb down the food. Having really, really good human resources people on the team doesn't dumb down the food. Having an outstanding IT department that can help people communicate better doesn't dumb down anything. And it makes me frustrated with myself that it took me so many years to get our corporate culture to be as smart as our restaurant culture.
What was been your proudest moment as the CEO of Union Square Hospitality to date?
I think the proudest moment in my career came in 1992, which was getting over my own fear of exposure and saying yes to American Express when they asked me to do a national TV campaign for them, and choosing that opportunity to talk about how proud I was that American Express had supported the restaurant industry's efforts to fight hunger via Share Our Strength. And when that advertisement was broadcast on President Clinton's inauguration and later on the Super Bowl that same January, and was in print ads all around the country, and I saw that that led to Share Our Strength raising $25 million via American Express programs to fight hunger. That's not anything I ever could have done as an individual through the restaurants, and it made me incredibly proud to have some small part in that process.
How big do you envision your company getting?
I think the Union Square Hospitality Group will get as big as it can get without ever losing sight of who we are. And the minute that any one of our business establishments, whether it's an events company or an Indian restaurant or a barbecue restaurant or a burger joint, stops having a sense of humor about itself, because at the end of the day, come on, we're not rocket scientists. You give us money, we give you food. But we've got to always be a kind of company that employs great people who are in business for the purpose of taking care of other people, who contribute something to their community, who have the best suppliers, and ultimately keep spinning this cycle of enlightened hospitality. And we'll get as big as we can get until I feel and my partners feel like somehow we've accidentally broken that cycle. And then we'll try to fix it. And if we can't fix it, we'll say we got too big and we'll stop.
We've been talking with Danny Meyer of Union Square Hospitality Group. Check out the next part of this series as we explore what it takes to be a leader with guts. For Food Channel Pro, I'm Ellen Cotis.